Hello and welcome to Pigheaded and Well Read. I am Ethan Rowley here with my friend and podcast host, Nate Skidmore. What we are doing here is attempting to summarize and have fun with one of my favorite books, East of Eden by John Steinbeck. And so, Nate, maybe back in March of 2025, I reached out to you and I said, hey, I have this book that I really like. Do you want to talk about it? We've been talking about doing a podcast for forever. And so we ended up doing it. And I'm really excited about what we have.
Yeah. Always really exciting when two guys finally figure out what their podcast is going to be about. And so, when you reached out with this idea, I thought it sounded great. I think we kind of workshopped a few ideas of how it would work, and we kind of ended up with this kind of general thing where it's a book that you've read several times, and I have not read it, and so it's going to be kind of a spoiler free pod. It's a read along. I did a good job of like not reading. I'd finished the reading for each episode, not read
Mm-hmm.
another page more until we recorded. And so kind of fun. Like it's a book. You're familiar with the story. You kind of know what's going to happen. I'm experiencing it for the first time. And so you kind of get those two kind of different perspectives. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you also, you're someone that reads a lot. I'm someone that reads a little, and so you get someone very smart talking with someone a little less smart.
Oh, you're
It's a good
definitely selling
dynamic.
yourself short, though.
You-
I think depending on the episode, you could listen to this and be like, no, Nate's the PhD in Steinbeckism.
I'm not without my moments, but you don't want two people on equal footing talking to each other on a podcast. That's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. And so I think that whether you, listener, are a first time reader, like Nate was as we went through this, or you've read this a few times and want to just go back to it because you love the book, I think there's going to be a lot here for you. Um, the reason it's kind of coming out right now is about a year or so ago, Netflix announced that they were doing a miniseries of East of Eden, starring one of my favorite actresses, Florence Pugh. And so we thought the internet might blow up with East of Eden because I think Florence Pugh is going to do one heck of a job portraying one of the main characters in this, Kathy Ames. And so, yeah, if you hear that and you want to read it before it comes out, this is the pod to do it with.
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm certainly a lot more excited to watch the show now that I've read the book, and I think you'll see that in the pod. We do have kind of a section where we talk about the upcoming show and what we think will make the cut and what might get left on the editing room floor. I guess with this being the trailer, we should just kind of go over the format of each episode.
Sounds good to me.
We'll start each one with like a quick summary of the chapters that we read. Um, each we're doing it about 50 pages at a time. So each pod starts with about a little 3 sentence summary of the 50 pages. And then you and I, we go back and forth kind of summarizing the chapters that we read. You took odd chapters, I took even chapters.
Hmm.
And,
Which
we
ended
kind
up
of,
being there's so many odd chapters, like page length. It ended up feeling like I was doing like 75% of the pages. It wasn't as 50 split, but that was fine with me. Fine with me.
yeah, no, serendipitous. The, yeah, so, and then, as we're summarizing, we're kind of both jumping in and talking over things we thought were interesting as we read it. And then after the chapter summary, we both have kind of a main takeaway. And I called my takeaways the Nate's takes. Yours are called the East of Ethan's,
Hmm.
which were a lot of fun. Then we did like a little adaptation notes, what we thought would make the show, what might not make the show, how they might portray something. And then you read a really cool kind of companion novel while
Hmm.
you were reading this. I don't know if you do want to elaborate on that. You're probably
Yeah,
best to talk about it.
yeah. I figured since I was kind of like the returning reader here that I could go ahead and read a novel called Journal of a Novel, where Steinbeck, to kind of get his creative juices going each day when he sat down to write, he wrote a letter to his editor where he kind of worked out the ideas he wanted to touch on that day. And a lot of it ended up being full of spoilers if you hadn't already read it yet. And so I try to take the bits and pieces of what's going on in Steinbeck's brain or how he's trying to portray certain characters. And it was one of my favorite parts of this read along, was seeing what Steinbeck was doing behind the curtain as he crafted what he thought was his magnum opus. I mean, the entire time he's putting so much pressure on himself to write this novel, and he's thinking this is going to be such a great book. It's going to be so good. How do I possibly write something this great? And he delivered.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and definitely, it's probably my favorite part of each pod was, in the moment, kind of hearing these things, getting this behind the scenes view, because I was not reading it because I was avoiding all spoilers. But I love behind the scenes stuff. Back in the day, I was a big Blu-ray fan, loved blooper reels, all sorts of stuff like that. So that's a
Did you
very
also
enjoyable
like
part
a
of each pod.
director's commentary where it had
I love
the
director's
movie going?
commentary. Yeah,
Wow, that was
give
a
me the
little
most.
too in depth for me on the Blu-ray.
That makes I like listening to a good director's commentary and then telling other people about it like they're my thoughts.
Yeah,
And just taking full credit for it. No one else listened to it.
and listener,
Um,
you can do that too. Our thoughts are not trademarked. If you hear a good take
yeah.
here during Nate's takes, feel free to talk about it with anybody else.
Yeah, feel free to take anything that I said and take credit for it. In fact, better if you do. Yeah, and then we end each episode with I make some predictions, kind of based on what I think is going to happen next. That proved difficult. I did not.
My favorite part of the pod.
I did not get a lot right. As each episode, I try to guess what's going to happen in the next 50 pages. Tough look for me in general, and my ability to forecast, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
But listener, I mean, if you are reading along with us and you also want to put in your predictions, we'd love to hear them
Yeah, yeah,
as what you're doing. So,
no, for
but
sure.
yeah, I will say, Nate, we initially tried to start each episode with like a little 10, 15-second riff of trying to make it sound supernatural and ease our way into the pod. We realized after we re-listened through them and edited them that none of it was really working. Um, we even had a scripted trailer that we filmed before we even filmed any episode, and that is in the trash. It was in the
Yeah.
trash. The second we hit stop record, I knew that wasn't going to work. And so
I
this
was
is our
trying to be
first time ever
optimistic about it.
podcasting.
Listening back, I was
Yeah.
like, it's okay.
Oh, it's so stilted. But I do think that we got better with each passing episode. And so if you listen to the first episode and you're like, wow, this blows, 2x speed it, go to the second episode. It's a big jump. It's a big jump between one and two.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. We did get a lot better every episode that we recorded, and the intros, yeah, it was tough. It was just like we wanted to be real casual and just like kind of capture our vibe as friends catching up with each other, and it just like every episode, I was just like updating you on what happened with the Baltimore Orioles, and like
It's true.
it's not timely, and not especially interesting to most people. Um, and
Maybe if they'd
so
had a better season.
yeah, maybe so yeah, so we what we ended up doing was we re-recorded the intros for all the pods. So at the beginning of each pod, you'll get like what is it, a 30-second intro,
Hmm.
1 minute intro from us.
Yeah.
Just real quick, summarizing like what this pod's going to be about, which chapters it hits on, and we added
Hmm.
a little content warning because some of the episodes are dark. So
Yeah, it can get dicey sometimes. Sometimes as I was rereading, I was thinking, I can't believe they're having freshmen and sophomores in high school read some of this.
yeah, um,
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah.
But yeah,
Anything
I
else we
mean,
want to cover in the trailer?
not particularly. I'm really excited to get this out. I hope that people enjoy it and it gets people reading East of Eden. There's been quite a few people, more than three at least,
Mm,
outside of my like standard friend group that have been reading East of Eden, and so I think that it's picking up some steam and some traction. And so I hope that this helps people understand it or interpret it. We could be very wrong in some of our
mm,
takes.
yeah, don't
So
don't
we're
rule that
we're
out.
not trying to be an authority here on East of Eden. Okay, Nate, anything you want to say? Any last words?
I do have some last words, and you'll run into these throughout each pod, and that is some sage wisdom, um, that I've come across in my life, which is
Mm-hmm.
to never fly uphill. me boys.